Friends. This is Edwards here, live from Brisbane with the amazing Wendy Goni Mendez. How are you today, Wendy?
I'm great, thank you, Ed. Great to see you.
Now, this is my first LinkedIn Live actually done with someone physically on the
There you
spot.
go.
We're usually doing it over PC.
I know. Well, why not do something different, eh?
I know. Now, Wendy, you're a top marketer. You've been in advertising for a long time, and you've got heaps of amazing clients. Tell us very quickly what you do and how you help people, and tell our fans from across the world.
Yes, yeah, it has been a long time. How do I help people? How do I work B2B, so mostly businesses, and I help businesses to get their most out of their marketing budget. It's different for everybody, so there's not a cookie cutter approach. It's what works for you, what works for your business and your space.
Wow. So you help clients do their marketing. Give us an example of some of the things that you do to help your customers win big. And to our fans across the world, smash that like, hit that share key, leave a comment, and tell us how you help people, Wendy. It's a bit of detail.
Okay, so say client might come in and say, we don't do marketing. We have no idea. We've got all of this. We just don't do that. We get work just by referrals, and we don't have a presence online, and everything looks a little bit stale, and it was done a while ago, or it looks different everywhere. Their content, what they present to clients, everything looks a little bit different. It's been done by somebody in-house. It's been done by somebody outhouse, outsourced.
Outhouse.
Yeah,
Outhouse.
everywhere, and it just doesn't look. It doesn't look professional. It doesn't represent their business, and their competitors look so much better than what they do.
Yeah. And that's a good point, actually, because I think if your competitors look better than you, you're not going to get a big share of customers. You're going to get the
But
rats and
what's
mice.
funny enough, it's usually the newcomers into the business that look better because they've had their stuff done
Yeah.
professionally. They've paid the top dollars to get it done,
Yeah.
and then this business that's been around, that's got longevity, that's been around, that just does fantastic work, just does not look good online or on their brand just doesn't represent who they are.
Yeah.
So I can help basically bring their brand to life, bring it up to the century, ensure that they look now,
Wow.
ensure that it delivers the right message, that they look good on social, that they look good to their prospects, that they deliver the right message. That's really important, and it's consistent. It's consistent.
Totally. The thing that you got in my head, I love what you said before. It's the thing that I'm processing. And hello to our fans, by the way. Like, share, comment, connect with Wendy. The thing that I find really critical about all this is that I get it. Like, you might have someone who's the market leader, but then someone else comes into the market, and I suppose they're trying harder, aren't they? They're working really hard to take out the top competitor, or at least get a good carve of clients.
Not only that, sometimes when you're starting up a business or you're rebranding or whatever, you're on trend, right? You're now, and you're focused, and you're working on your marketing and whatnot, and so you've got like these clients that have been around forever, and so you're focused on just doing the work, and you're not focused on your pipeline. You're not focused on what's coming and what you should be working on consistently. So it's just something that sometimes, and the business could be doing really well. It doesn't represent the bottom line, because they've had clients for a very long time. It's just that they need a bit of a facelift.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's such an interesting point, actually. And I was going to ask you, Wendy, what are some of the marketing strategies you're doing for your clients that are bringing in lots of high-value customers?
Okay, so one is doing an audit. So, like, say for example, it's doing a marketing audit of like where they're at, where the gaps are. So ensuring that that they've got some numbers as into where the traffic is coming from. If it's where we can improve, and usually it's in a lot of places, right? But specifically, we can have a look at the analytics of what's going on to their website, what's going on to their social media, and then just having a look at, okay, get together some content, and let's update your message and everything that's on your website and on your brochures. Yeah.
So, question for you: what makes a strong message? What makes a really strong message that grabs people, Wendy?
One that talks to that, rather than says this is what I can do, this is what I can help you with. That talks to the client when they're coming into all of your social and your digital platforms, as well as your website. It's basically telling them what's in it for them.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I think it's overlooked. It's often all about us,
Yeah.
and it's not about us. It's about how I can help you.
I love it. I love exactly where you're going. And I was going to ask you as well, Wendy, right? Taglines. How important are taglines, and what are some of your suggestions for a top tagline?
Well, funny enough, most people when they write a tagline,
That's better. We're now on camera. That's better.
Most people when they talk about taglines, they want to include them in their logo because. And then it's just really, really tiny, right? So no, the tagline, sometimes you have to put in a tagline because your business name doesn't say what you do. Have you noticed that? And that's when it's important. But your tagline is not something that you should be glued to and go, this is what I'm going to stick with forever. It should just be something that you can always sort of go, you can tweak and you can go, actually, this works better. And it should also deliver the what's in it for you type of thing.
Gotcha. Because it's funny, and again, before I became a LinkedIn guy, I used to work in marketing. Granted, I wasn't as good as you, hence I'm in LinkedIn now.
Yeah, right.
There you go. But I remember when I was in marketing those years, what would happen is people would come up with the most creative and flowery concepts, but it's too creative. You don't know what it means. You just don't understand it. What are your thoughts on being too creative where you miss the mark? Have you seen that before? And what are your thoughts on that, Wendy?
It can be very abstract, can't it? Like, you know, something. And again, I think it's people trying to really focus on talking about themselves. And I think that it can be very long, or as I said, they want to make it part of their logo, and then you can't see it when it's like this big, right? And then everything needs to be bigger so that you can read it. So I think it's very much about keeping it concise. And very clear, and it doesn't have to be flowery, like you said,
flowery or creative, but it's just compelling.
Wordy. Less is more. Keep it simple.
Less is more. Now tell us about less is more, because I find when people who don't understand marketing, and I've done this before, they try and throw everything out there and it makes no sense. Tell us about less and more and why it's important, Wendy.
Well, what happens is this is why we build websites, right?
Yeah.
Because, but even on websites, we skim through stuff now. So it's really important that it's punchy, that it just gets the message across quite clearly and in concise bite sizes. Because what happens is people are just scrolling through, which is really time poor, right?
Yeah.
And even in your social media posts, people could come up with a very long message, which is lovely, but if you've got the right message up the top and they just see that top line, that's why that one's important, right? So when it comes to less is more, is when it comes to in the creative space, it just looks cleaner. It's just easier on the eye, and then you'll go directly to the message. You'll just go to what you need to say. You want to find out more?
Yeah, brilliant. Now I'm going to ask you a slightly different vein of questioning here. Now, Wendy and I go back many years. Very successful marketer, one of Australia's top. And ever since I've known you, Wendy, you've been a master networker. You're from Sydney originally. You now live in Brisbane, and you've been in Brisbane for 3 years? You already own the city, right? No, seriously, you do. Everyone knows you. It's like, oh, Wendy, we love Wendy Goni Mendez. She's awesome. Now, how have you gone from zero to heroes? You're clearly a hero. How have you gone to the top of your game? How have you gotten so well known and gotten all these customers and become so famous, Wendy?
Oh, famous.
You're a funny very person. Famous. Very famous.
You're a funny person.
Like, share, comment, by the way.
I think it's not about. I genuinely like meeting people. I genuinely like getting to know people, and I think it's all about building the relationship with people and not expecting. Not everyone's going to buy from you. It's more about how you can help them.
Yeah. And I love that focus, and that's the viewpoint that I've really adopted. Is not everyone's going to buy from you, right? The idea is just to make lots of friends.
Want them to do.
Yeah. It's funny. We all get. And by the way, if you're listening to this comment's not aimed at you. I love you guys, but we've all had the leads from hell. We've always had that person wanting to do business with us who gives us a headache, right? Now, one thing I noticed that you're amazing at is you attract a very high quality, high value client. How do you attract not just the leads, but how do you attract the high value leads? How do you do it personally? And what are some of your tips to our fans out there?
Well, it's funny. I think. This probably goes back to finding out something that's probably might sound a bit cliche, but it's the people that you know. Yeah, and it's that handful. It's that influence that you have around influential people.
There you go.
So if you know good people will come. If you know good people, then good people will come to you. And if you give, then you will get in a different way.
Now, tell us about business networking.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I got 2 questions. Before I talk Brisbane, high level, tell us a bit about business networking and how you've used it to build your business and become
So
massively
this
successful.
is interesting, right? So I mean, we've met at the business chambers and whatnot, and I think it is about hanging around like-minded people and people that you know and that you like. So I like going to business chambers because I get to meet wonderful people like yourself. This is where we met
That's where I
many
met
years
Wendy.
ago. Lucky.
So Wendy.
Yeah, this is where we met. So if you hang out in the places where you're going to meet like-minded people, then you're gonna attract the right people if you treat them well, right? So I attended the business chambers and I just enjoyed going to them. But not every business chamber, right?
Ooh.
There are chambers and there are chambers.
Yeah.
And I the Sydney Hills Business Chamber obviously dear to my heart.
Yep. So Sydney Hills, if you're from Sydney, check out Sydney Hills
Yes,
Business Chamber.
Yes, you've got to go to the Hills.
Even I've been there and helped out.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and I think the people that I've met there, obviously that's where I used to live as well, and so definitely nice people, genuine people, and just we were talking about this hardworking people.
Hardworking
And,
people. Yeah, no lazy people at Hills. We love them.
And basically we I think I just met really nice people there, but also when I used to always think I joined the BNI, right?
BNI, yes. Is that
joined the
Business
BNI.
Networking International?
Business Networking
BNI.
International.
BNI.
Again, not all BNIs are alike.
Yeah, there's some amazing BNI groups out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is about the people. Again, they are the ones that make the difference. But at the same time, they all have a common interest that we end up building some really nice relationships together. And then again, it's their network, right? So when you meet somebody, it's not the person who's in front of you that you should be selling to. You should be talking to their network.
Oh, brilliant. I got a question from Shinjini. Shinjini, thank you for your question. It's a great question. How do you suggest one should incorporate call to actions in social media posts, considering scrolling behaviors on the rise? If I can rephrase the question, a lot of people are just scrolling these days, Wendy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of content. How do you make your content stand out and grab people in a world of people scrolling and ignoring stuff?
I think the message on the post has got to be important, right? So the content is important because that's what's going to get them to stop.
Gotcha.
Right.
Totally.
So, and then I think that a short link is great, but also DM. You want to start that conversation.
Yep.
And I do say it's probably consistency there, isn't it? Like ensuring that not everyone's going to see that message that one time you put it up. So
posting all the time, building a relationship, really good messaging to break through the clutter.
That's right. And I think it doesn't have to be and don't always hit the same sort of thing. Mix it up a little bit as into what it is that you put up, and add a bit of humor to your posts as well. Sometimes can really help, depending on the industry, of course. It's just if you've got a big team, if that's what you're doing, definitely recognition to your team really goes a long way, and then just elevating what you do, and just if you do the right thing by people and you share that sort of stuff. A lot of businesses do beautiful stuff, right? Fantastic stuff, but they don't share it. Nobody gets to see it. So I know it seems like I'm boasting about myself, but it's
telling the truth.
It's telling the truth, and it's also just highlighting what makes you different to somebody else.
Gotcha. So my big question for you, right, is tell us how you help people. So let's say someone's watching this live or a recording. How do you help people? So let's say a lead comes to you, you can handle it. What's the first thing you do with someone that approaches you?
When somebody that approaches me is I want to know more about them. I want to know about them and who do they help, and what do they want to gain out of their marketing? Because some people it's funny. Some people want leads. Some people want more business, and others just actually funny enough. Some of the clients I'm working for want good staff.
Yeah, gotcha.
So and they want to make sure that they look different to their competitor online, so that they can draw that really good quality staff. Isn't that interesting? So we don't all want the same things out of social media.
Yeah.
And we were talking about good staff before.
Yeah, one of our old friends, Mindark, Matt Craig and all that, marketing has never been their issue. Correction, marketing for clients has never been their issue. Marketing for staff has always been the thing that's held them back.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, never been clients, it's been staff that can deliver the work.
Yeah, and so it's funny enough. It's like it's not it's not always about sales. It's not
Yeah.
always about this is what I want out of marketing. They might already have really good quality clients, and they can always use more, but they want really good quality staff to be able to service those good quality.
Brilliant, incredible. Now, Wendy, big thank you to our fans watching. Smash that like, share, and comment. Please connect with it's Wendy Goni Mendez. Wendy, what closing thoughts do you have before we bid our wonderful fans farewell for now?
Oh, I really want to thank you. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity for having me on your stream. Amazing. I really, really want to thank you for that. And I just encourage people to follow you if they don't
Thank
already
you.
do that.
Thank you.
Crazy not to. A LinkedIn influencer.
There we go. Wearing a meetup T-shirt today.
LinkedIn and meetup.
Yeah, I need to get a LinkedIn T-shirt. I'll work on that one. It's funny that actually, I didn't even plan this live. We're just sitting at a beautiful cafe in Brisbane. Our venue is just over there for our meetup a bit later on. And I'll tell you what, isn't it amazing how you can just stream live from a cafe in Brisbane, tethering off the internet is coming through this phone and hitting the computer.
Amazing, isn't it? We've come such a long way.
I know.
But you come from Sydney today.
Yeah.
But no, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, pleasure. Love you, Wendy. Wendy, thank you so much. We love you heaps. And friends, you've heard it. Like, share, comment. Wendy, appreciate you so much. Thank you all. Stay